Yahar! Welcome, mateys. It be it's Thursday. December 9th. I couldn't keep that up. Sorry. Welcome, hello. It is Thursday, December 9th. I hope everybody's having a good day. Frankly, I have no reasoning behind this outfit except for the fact that I wanted to have giant cutlasses behind my back. So, here we are. But I hope everyone's having a good day. And, if you're not, I really hope your day gets better. I do the best that I can to help out with that. So, I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room a little bit. Last night was a bit long. Like, I did not anticipate I would still be streaming at 4 in the morning. I think that might happen again tonight. So, if you don't want to be here for the whole stream, you don't have to be. That's okay. I don't force anybody to be here. Especially not at sword point. Especially not at sword point. Okay. Oh, hey, Socks. Welcome in. I'm not gonna lie. Everybody that showed up after midnight, I figured was gonna be a more after midnight kind of situation, not at this time of day. But so now you're gonna get a bit more of what I actually do, which is I generally play, older games, RPGs. I have to finish off the specific seed for Final Fantasy IV, the randomizer that I was doing yesterday, before everybody was all like, hey, it's 8:20, come on, let's go. It's like, okay, fine. But how are you doing today, Socks? Also, you'll see I'm generally not as vocal as when talking with other people, because it's talking with other people is the important thing. It's the other people that makes it helpful. I've gotten past the whole concern about I don't want to talk to myself or any of that. I got over that years ago. Oh man. Honestly, having pets is really helpful for dealing with performance stuff. Uh-oh. My hat's getting a little too jaunty for me. Come on. On one. There. Now the hat shouldn't jaunt as much. Or it'll jaunt way more. Alright. Let's see. Perfect. Stop that, and then we're going to go to the emulation tab. So, where did we left off? When we were last here. Oh god, I am very off center. Why am I so off center? Oh, right, because there we go. Because VTube Studios had an update, so I had to adjust things. Turns out I found out about this at 2:56. Not the best timing, but oh well. So, like I said, we are just burning through the last little bit of this seed for the randomizer. I think the next step is either to try to fight the Mist Dragon again, which is in the tower. Or... Okay, I do have enough Dragoon. Still really would like another better sword and a shield. I feel dumb for selling that shield. Like, why did I sell the extra Dragoon shield? Both have crystal helmet? Good. Good, that's what you need. I still can't go to the moon. I don't have the pan. All right. Sorry, let's use the track feature. So I've got the Magma Key, the Luca Key, the Sand Ruby, and the Legend Sword that I have and haven't completed. I fought all of the summon bosses that I can down here. I still need to find the pan. All the Sand Ruby gets me is oh wait. Sorry, I just remembered something. Let's not change my sword when I'm fighting the Mist Dragon. That'll probably be good. That should suffice. So sadly, I still have some information from, you know, what transpired last night, like the fact that the Mist Dragon is at the bottom of this tower. I have no idea what's in the tower. And I think any of the chests that I got beyond the cannon room was not important. That's still not the best. Fine, let's activate this chest. It'll probably be a monster. Oh, okay, cool. There's the monster. Even though I remember doing this and this wasn't that great of an item, still, it's a necessity. Oh, samurai bow. All right, let's do this. So, I know they're both equipped with holy swords, but it deals more damage than it would have normally. And unfortunately, because of the nature of Mist Dragon, we're going to get a lot of cold mist happening. I think that's enough. Enough? No, I guess that wasn't enough time. Come on. Oh well. I'll just have to wait. This game's gonna fight itself out. Maybe I shouldn't have used Berserk. Maybe it would have been better had I control. No, I guess not. Oh, good. I learned haste. Now I can start just attacking the... Oh, God, not the package. Well, that's unfortunate. Package is one of my least favorite items to get. Because the only reason you ever need to use the package is to see who you get. You know, in case they're a worthwhile character. Or if you haven't encountered the D-Mist yet. Because it's possible that D-Mist could be the boss that's behind the package. And if the D-Mist is holding something very important, like, say, a crystal, you might have to do that. I'm just doing this trying to get a shield now. Or, you know, like a better weapon than the lightsaber. That'd be nice, too. Like, give me an Excalibur or another crystal sword. Ooh, that'd be nice. Then I wouldn't care. But no, you're just gonna give me spears. I've been sending Kane away every time. I've encountered 3 different Kanes. Just don't want him right now. Even though, granted, he is so much better than having Edward in the party. Like, by a long shot. But you know who else is better than having Edward in the party? Literally anybody else. Like, Tella is better than having Edward in the party. Mostly because I think I can use Tella to agility anchor fight. Right now, Edward's got 26 agility. I think I need 14. I think it's 14. All right. Well, let's tackle the The demist pickup. What's Rydia's mom have? Also Bahamut. This is bad. This means that my course of action is I have to go to the Lucas Cave. So now I have to remember where Starvales were sold. Because I need to pick up, about 40 of them. I think 40 is about right. I wasn't kidding. Like, actually 40. What else was here? Ether tubes, tents. Nah, those aren't important. Oh, I'm gonna check something real fast. Was I... Okay, good. I was really afraid that I was like, did I take the Falcon to what's its place? Troya, and then get the Enterprise back, and I locked myself out of direct access to Troya. But that was not the case. Okay. Now for kind of a dumb situation, but for the most part, it works out. Oh, whoops. I was thinking it was targeted reflect, and I forgot. Yeah, I don't know reflect itself, so well, that feels bad. The upside is this thing should just use Blaze, which heals. Why did that not heal? Blaze is multi-elemental, isn't it? Cool, we're gonna turn these back off because apparently I am a dumb who doesn't understand how the game works sometimes. So instead of actually using these to grind up experience, I'll just, I don't know, go fight dragons like normal. So I'm not going to get any of the encounters from the doors. It's okay. They only have a few good songs anyway. can't remember which one of these it is. That's the save point, so it must be this one. So, the experience gain is actually not like in the initial game, where normally it would be split amongst the party members. Right now, because this is, of course, the randomizer, they have it where every party member gets all the experience. Actually, is that the case? They made it to where that was the case. It didn't used to be. It used to be where if you had 4 people dead, you will get all of the rest of the experience onto the one person, which made early leveling in the base game kinda easy. Because at one point in time, Cecil's like, hey, I've got a sword that can just kill everything in one hit. But then you go to a mountain with a bunch of undead on it. And as Flanders says, you cannot kill the undead. But with the randomizer itself and free enterprise, they decided to go with that is a lot. Also, I have the darkness crystal now, so now I can go to the moon. But yeah, normally the experience would be split. Right now, it's not. And also, fun thing to note, because this is searching up key items, once I get 10 separate key items, my experience points double. So experience gain has doubled. Oh, that's real bad. Like, that was a lot of damage. Hit him fast enough. Well, there goes Edward. In fact, there goes anybody that I had control over. So Cecil's gonna get all the experience, I guess. Okay, cool. Let's see. Yeah. Which one's the third dungeon in Final Fantasy 1? Because that's one of the games that you can actually do things non-linearly. Like, once you get access to... Once you've completed the Earth Crystal, you could do it in any order, which is kind of fun, but also means that, hey, you completed the last dungeon, or the second to last dungeon, so everything else is pretty much a cakewalk. Yeah, you can do them in any order after the Earth Crystal, because you need the Earth Crystal. You need to kill Lich to get the canoe, which then you can use the canoe to get Levistone to get the airship. I'd assume they expect people to talk to everybody. Which I know is a baffling concept, but you know, sometimes there are important NPCs. remember that there was an NPC that said something about a ship in the desert. Then you needed a floaty stone. But I don't know. There's a lot of questionable choices that have been made in the Final Fantasy games about what is straightforward. Like this. If I didn't know that I had to come to Mysadia holding on to the Darkness Crystal, I would never have gotten the big whale. And now I get access to my final item shop. Not that it actually means much, because it's items. Maybe they'll sell Cure 3s. Yeah, well... I mean, technically the airship is mandatory, too. Wait, what? Why did it not go? Oh, are you serious? I made sure this thing was working. Alright, I'm gonna have to close out and reopen it. It's really silly, because like I actually made sure that my body was in the right spot to get the pets. So I had to double check that thing was on. What? Twitch authentication failed? Your internet is so bad? I'm sorry. How do I make sure this actually works in Twitch? It's running run 360. Oh. That is difficult. One second. Okay, what's this say? Every 30 days or so. Oh, God. So, like I said, I'm trying to fix the thing to use the channel point redeems. Again, I'm sorry. New features, reconnect with Twitch. Okay, how do I reconnect with Twitch? But I will say this. I will manually do the rewards for both of those shortly. Got to make sure this goes. Save. Okay. All right. So, because I know things like the, I'll do the pet the cat just to see. Does it work? It works. Pet the cat works. Great. Now, fortunately, the My Little Pog Champ is just an audio file that I can play. Like, also, hi Claire. I do see that you did that. The fact that things got really weird there is like, I don't know why it's not working. Was it Audacity? I think it was Audacity that it's in. So documents, nope, not there. Did I put it on desktop? Oh god, so if I put it in desktop, then I may have made a terrible, oh, there it is. This is probably it.
My little PogChamp. My little PogChamp.
That's all that sound effect does. Yes, good. We got it there in time. Ha ha.
Pretty, pretty. Pretty, pretty. You go good at guy. You are pretty. Pretty, pretty. Pretty, pretty. Yo, buddy. You are pretty. Pretty, pretty. Pretty, pretty. They're not the happy. You are pretty.
All right. I'm glad I was able to solve that issue. Apparently I need to do that every 30 days. That's not a thing that I had to do before. But oh well. Oh, okay, so that's for when playing Pokemon. Specifically for people to adjust my party for Pokemon and Pokemon-like games. This is not the time to do that, unfortunately. Abandoning them is actually removing them from my party entirely, so I can't use them anymore. Whereas just putting them away is putting them in the box. It's probably going to come up a bit more now that I lost the most recent Nuzlocke run. Because stupid Barry had to kill me. But I'm going to keep playing the game because I need to continue playing the game. Hey, look, it's Kane again. Everyone's favorite character, Kane. You gotta ask yourself, if Kane's not on screen, then how are you? What happens if you had to abandon your starter when you first get it? I cannot drop below one Pokemon at any point in time. So that's why I'd have to be like, okay, there is some restrictions. Mostly, like, I can't get rid of the Pokemon that gets me to a location, say if it had Surf and there was no other way off the island. I'm not going to soft lock myself just for everybody's enjoyment. Now, if I accidentally soft lock myself or do something super dumb like that, it happens. I've seen it happen many times. Then we work around it. But, like, even just, you know, people trolling being like, oh, go release that legendary that you had. It's not like I'm trading these things around to people. Sure, why not? And if I were to, oh, I don't know, catch a shiny Pokemon and someone said, hey, release that shiny Pokemon you just caught. I mean, I probably still would. I'd still do it. That's Mylon. That's just regular Mylon. With a bunch of zombies, I can fight him. I can win this fight. Oh yeah, that's not bad at all. But yeah, no, I haven't had anybody force me to abandon a starter. But things like, well, in the Nuzlocke, it was just like, hey, get rid of this one guy. You've been using him quite a bit. And I was like, yeah, okay, I see that. Which is why a lot of times the not abandon option, but store is used just to be like, okay, you've used that character quite a bit. Give them a break. Let somebody else have a turn. Oh, my car. Yeah, there we go. Fight's over. Nothing bad here. And I might get something good. What's the reward for defeating Bahamut Spot? An Argentum apple. Yay. Now I can make somebody like Edward have 50 more health. I said I was going to do some grinding. No, I wanted to see who that last character was. You ever heard of a game called Dark Cloud? I have not. I don't think I've heard of a game called Dark Cloud. What is it? Please, if you would be so kind. Half town builder, half dungeon crawler. Interesting. How does it play normally? Let's put these up here, and then put those right beneath. Ooh, wait, I think I can do this right. Damn, Daniel. Oh, well, hopefully it sounded correct. But I can't actually do the breathe in and make noise because too many years. I just can't force myself to do it. You equip things to your weapons that you find in the dungeon, and then revolves and absorbs the things equipped with permanently, so you can put more stuff on it. Okay. Dark Cloud. You know what? I'm gonna write that one down. We'll go right here. Let's see, which... Here we go. Usually stats to metamorphose the weapons to another... Oh, okay. Okay. So next to inscription, we will put dark cloud. Just to have a list of games to look into. Because that does sound interesting. Oh, it was on PS2. Okay. That might make things a little difficult. For you see, I am not one that has a lot of PlayStation consoles. Like, I had a PlayStation. I have a PlayStation. I never really had a working PS2. How much further? Okay, I'm 50 now, so... There are always emulators. I mean... That's kind of what I'm doing right now. This is an emulator, after all. Because it's a randomizer, and you gotta... I'm not gonna get a separate cartridge each time I need to apply a new seed. That's a waste of money. But the other side of that is, even though these are emulators, because it's the easiest thing that I have access to, I do try to make sure I have the game. Just so I could have the game. That just states the concern on my part. Because that was the old issue growing up. You can have a digital copy of an item that you own as a backup. It is referred to as a digital backup. So anytime you'd be like, well, you've ripped all of your music onto your computer. Well, you can't do that. That's illegal. I'm sorry. I can absolutely do that. Okay. So Palom and Porum both know white. That's probably, sorry. Porum and Porum. I have two Porums. The fact that I don't have the adamant is kind of annoying. I've got the legend. Magma Key does nothing. PS2 and one stage of loads, like, oh, yeah, that's a bad feel. Oh, ooh. God, even at that point, you're like, okay, well, if you have to restart, it's just all the way back. I'd rather a game fail early on, you know, fail to play, not like actually fail. Mostly because I'm so desperately trying to find. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna fight some monsters. Perfect. This is exactly what I figured was gonna happen. I have a Bacchus left over. Great. I was thinking in the phrase, you went in wanting to hate it. It's a stupid phrase. Yes. Yeah, it kind of is. It's more of a defeatist principle. It's like, yeah, you didn't really like. You were there. You were there grudgingly. You didn't want to be there. So when it inevitably failed, how are you gonna tell someone that they were wrong in their opinions of the game? Oh, ooh. Yeah, I don't even know how you didn't do that. Like even from me, which is I don't want to, you know, throw people under the bus, or which that's its own separate phrase. Oh hey, Ashura. Oh no, Ashura. Let's see. Do I have reflect? Okay, good. Oh no. Alright, cool. Fight's over. This fight just fights itself now. I was looking at the trending page on Steam and it makes no sense. Well. Well, what's trending right now? Because you got a lot of games that are fresh out the lot, so. And aside from the ones that are just being released, ooh, defense sword. I think that's better than light sword. Barely, but yes. Yeah, so any game that's just being released right now and has like little to no action might just be things that are, hey, we thought you might like this sort of a thing, and then sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, and they're really hoping that you do. But because it's December, you're gonna encounter a lot of stuff on the Steam sale page that probably not what some people will like. But if that's your jam, have at it. I have to open up all of these chests just to get a decent shield. Because hopefully there will be a shield in here. I don't care if it's crystal, I don't care if it's dragoon, I don't care if it's an Aegis shield. I just need another shield. But I know I'm going to get more encounters as time moves on. Go to the bottom of the store page, there's a new and trending section. Alright, so Endwalker is a weird case. Because, I think that's more of a hype kind of a situation. That people are looking at. understand some more training. Oh. Yeah, technically I would. But you're right. I don't understand how they do the algorithm for what's trending and what isn't. Come on. How much health does this warlock have? And after the fall launch edition, the VR only game. Why does after the fall sound familiar? I mean, personally, I don't really know Witcher at all. Like, I barely know of it in the lightest of terms. Oh, are you serious, Edward? You actually had to be good at your bow. On sale, and I'm torn whether I should get it because the story is probably great, but combat's really dumbed down. I'd say, and this is gonna be weird. I would say get it. Character is almost always. If there's an enemy inside. Oh, I see. Yeah. I would honestly get it. I would pick up the game if you want that kind of a game. I might be not figuring stuff out. Rat 10 feet away. Attack. Little hit. Huh. Yeah, Bloodborne Knights. Ooh. Oh. Couldn't revive the drag. What's DK2? I don't know that one. Not off the top of my head. Deal 10% basic combat. Oh. Oh. Why do they shorten it to DK instead of DS? Oh. Alright, no, that's fair. I mean, I'm not gonna say you're stupid. Don't throw that on yourself. I just don't know a lot of things sometimes. Alright, here we go. More monster. Oh, this is fine. Because hopefully they'll use something like a fire breath and I'll heal back up. First boss has heal weapon damage. Oh boy. Oh, that sounds like a very long slog of a fight. I regret selling that shield. I regret it so much. When I was playing level 1 Kingdom Hearts 2, it was having fun because it was doing enough that you have the option to dodge. Yeah, no, I see. I follow. Dodge roll, and it's a bad dodge. Oh, ooh. Oh god, it's actually a wyvern. Oh wait, I already accomplished my one goal. High jump, quick step, dodge roll, aerial dodge, glide. Yeah. Well, I mean, this wasn't, it could have been anything. I should have anticipated it being Wyvern. That one's my bad. I mean, if ever Edward dies again, so be it. But I was gonna say, I should have enough power to force through this fight. And I hope the reward is good. No, it's not good. But it's better than this Ice Claw. Or some of these other things that I've been continually getting rid of. Yeah. Alright, cool. So now there's three more loot bosses, ones that are protecting a thing, and then one more final boss. Hopefully I'll get a shield. Or at least the crystal. Because if I have to leave the moon to go find the crystal, oh boy. So you need the crystal to actually initiate the final boss fight. And, if I have to leave the moon to go find it, I'm gonna be a little upset. Let's see, we have yet to fight Vivalis. Oh, or Leviathan for that matter, apparently. Any games I would recommend. So, aside from, say, Kingdom Hearts and Dark Souls, what kind of games do you like? What do you like to play? Because the games that I recommend kind of... I do my best to be like, I like to play Final Fantasy Tactics. That is one of my favorite games. If you're not into like actual tactics RPGs and that like, maybe not for you. Or I mean the bog standard. Hey, a lot of people like Castlevania, all those Metroidvania games. I like them too. I like to suggest them. Turn-based is fun. Third-person real-time is even greater. Well, I can't really do real-time strategy games very well because oh god, it's the okay. I'm gonna make my statement. Puzzle games are fun too. Well, that's good, but I can't really do the third-person real-time because I would never had a computer that could handle them very well, and so it's like cool. I'm doing turn-based RPGs, stuff like Breath of Fire, which is I'm going to be going to in about I'd say half an hour after I beat the boss, and then oh gods. So it's not what kind of specs I have now, it's what I used to have. I used to have a $400 PC that I bought off of Newegg in 2016? That had an onboard graphics card, which was $650. It was to the point where I couldn't really play. Okay, I could play Team Fortress 2 on it because I couldn't do that on the PC I had previously. I haven't had the best experience. There's the pass and there's the pan. Oh boy, we still got one more fight to see if we can get a thing. Yeah, petting the cat. So that hand is set on a timer. It will act weird if you redeem that one too much. And it also acts weird if you redeem Pet the Cat and Big Pets at the same time, because I believe, depending on which one starts first, the hand will go away. Okay. All right. If this boss doesn't have the crystal, I have to leave the moon. Got a pre-build when I didn't know anything and upgraded through the year. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Oh. Well, I mean, I don't need to do anything for this fight. At least I think I don't need to do anything for this fight. We'll see if the music changes. Yep, nope, don't need to do anything for this fight. The second to last boss. Hopefully. And it's just like, hey, stand there, do nothing. Get 122,000 experience. Alright, so unfortunately, I don't know if you've played through Breath of... oh, there's the Adamant. I have to leave the moon, but at least I have the Adamant. Alright, so those two, specifically, were the king and queen of the ninja kingdom, I guess, of Eblon. Sadly, they got corrupted and transformed into monsters by oh, come on, I can remember his name. It's kind of like Lugae. It's Lugae, Lugae, I believe. And it was a real shame, because that fight right there is supposed to be a very touching moment between them and their son, Edge, who joins your party before you fight them. What happens is they attack a couple of times and then they're like, oh no, this is bad. Hey, we're gonna kill ourselves so we don't fight you anymore. And then they kill themselves so we don't fight them anymore. And since that's a legitimate boss tick, the fight just ends. Okay, so now I've got 3 different trails that I can go down. First things first is Pan. Oh, I'm gonna have to get rid of another thing, aren't I? So The reason I said I might not have to do anything is when I made these specific seeds for the runs, there is a possibility to turn off things like the boss bit, where, hey, if your boss you're fighting has a certain action or something that they just decide at a certain point they'll stop fighting you, that's gone. You have to deal all of their health and damage. Which would have been really difficult. Because that's a very high health spot. And I mean, if I had to worry about that, of course. Okay, now I just got an Excalibur, which is good. That's Cecil's second strongest sword. Why is everything red? Oh. So, right now, I'm in the underworld. It's all red because it's full of lava and stone. Stone that can survive lava. And I got a second Excalibur. They've just been holding out on me, I guess. You have anything I can buy? Zeus. Yeah, that's fair. Why not just retire with all the gold I have? Well, because right now, story-wise, people are doing bad stuff. I would love to retire with all this money. But if I don't defeat the big bad guy, they continue to be big and bad. Okay. I got 2 Excaliburs, which reminds me. Let's put one of those on. And the tower key. So now I can complete the tower and hopefully get the last key item that I need. How many key items do I have left? I have 2 more to pick up. The Twin Heart and the Crystal. I cannot dual wield Excaliburs, unfortunately. You can in Tactics, but not here. Go. Let's see who we're fighting inside of here. Oh, here's Dr. Luge. He also has an explosive puppet named Belknap. Unfortunately, this fight is not very intense strength-wise. Because it's split between 2 different fights, and it's just supposed to be 3 very common enemies, so they don't have a lot of health. Hey, 1 second, I'll be right back. I'm gonna have to take care of everything real fast. The ghosts that stun lock you in 1 are the worst. Yes, they absolutely are. I will 100% agree. Like, any point in time, it's like, okay, you deal 1. It's either. I will amend that. It's not the ghosts that stun lock you that are the worst. It's the psycho demons that kill you in 1 hit. I guess they're not psycho demons, they're mind flayers. But still. Because it's not even like, oh, we dealt all of your health and damage. It's, I touched you and you died. That's the worst part. Because by the time you're fighting them, you don't have protection from instant death. Okay. Oh, we got the crystal. Oh, we finally got the crystal. Great. Now I can beat the game. I am gonna hand in this pan, though. All right. So what happened there was specifically this. In that tower, the Tower of Babel, after blowing up the cannons directed directly. Good job, me. After blowing up the cannons that were aimed at the Dwarven Castle, because the dwarves are the one that were in charge of the Dark Crystal that's stopping Golbez from accessing the moon. We stopped all of that, and then Golbez was like, well, fun thing you did there. Too bad. I'm gonna blow up all this path leading out, and then he just starts blowing up stairs, and we have to fall a very long way, but get caught by the Enterprise, which would normally have been piloted by Sid, who is not appearing in this playthrough apparently. But that's fine. Sid doesn't need to make an appearance all the time. Ah, yes, blowing up stairs, very dangerous. Yeah. I don't know why there was so many stairs. Yeah, it happens. I mean, I think I caught the gist of the message. But all right, what is happening? Oh. I'll have to check them later. And yep, that's fine. Cool. Everything's coming up Millhouse. Oh wait, I can just do the. I have the pass. I can just go straight to the boss. I just needed to get the crystal. That's what I needed. This is another nice change that the people that made this alterations did. Since, of course, the goal is to fight the boss, they put a little easy pass to get right to the boss. Now, this used to be King's Bounty Hub, or King's Rest. I can't remember which. It was there were a bunch of dancers in the basement. Once I go in, there is no return. Unfortunately, If this is, of course, your first, I'd say, experience exposure to Final Fantasy IV, this final boss is not actually what the final boss looks like. Because, okay, I'm just making sure I'm equipped with any gear that I need to have. Once again, a shield. Oh well. Yep. And yeah, that's fine. Here we go. So, one of the things that somebody that's been working on this takes pride in is custom sprites for the final boss. Because having to look at Zeromus time and time again kind of gets a little boring. So, specifically, Shala Kitty, who has done some things around on Twitch and other art stuff, spends her time making custom sprites. This sprite is normal. This is regular. One. Wow, only one. Oof. Okay, cool. God, usually it's like two. All right, there's the second. I don't know how well this will go because, I mean, we'll see. There's a lot of stuff about this boss fight that I do not know personally, and I can't say a lot about it because it's mechanics and weird things, but turns out Zeromus is in fact the entire Fabul gauntlet in one fight, apparently. That's hilarious. I like that feeling. Okay. And every time I cast a spell on it, he uses nuke. The hope is that each time he uses nuke, it gets weaker, as opposed to, well, what's probably going to happen, which is bad times to be had by all. Yeah, that's 8,000. And 18. Uh-oh, Forum might die. Oh, cool. Forum did not die. Normally, this boss has 128,000 HP. Which isn't so much in the realm of now, because we have bosses that have so much more. However, if you can deal 65,000 or whatever, and then reflect a spell back onto it. Apparently, since the boss itself only has a trigger to refill its HP after it loses that much, that's why it has so much higher. the trigger doesn't happen. So, a lot of times you'll see people trying to throw spells directly at it or deal as much damage as possible until we get to the phase where it casts Medio and dies. Although this fight should be just about over. There we go. Once the flashes start, boss is dead. I'm gonna be right back one more time. I'm gonna finish taking care of everything that started earlier. Okay. What is this? Oh. Uh-oh. I moved the thing. I have to test this now. Okay, good. I didn't move it too badly. All right. Normally, I'd sit through these credits and just let things go. Apparently, I put a lot more time into this game than I thought I was going to. I thought it was just going to be a very quick done, like 20, 30 minutes. Been going for an hour and a half. But that's how it goes sometimes. So I'm not gonna do the exit sequence, the end credits. There's a couple of things I didn't do. I know that very much. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna stop the recording for right now to, split it up, have this be the Final Fantasy IV part of the stream. The next one will be Breath of Fire 2. The only reason I do this is because it makes uploading all of these bits to YouTube a lot easier, just so I could be like, I don't edit anything, it's just right straight on. So that'll be the end of this one part of the recording. Thank you for stopping by.